there is nothing sexier than a man that can support his wife and encourage her to do the things that help her feel healthy and connect with the things that give them joy outside of motherhood and the role of wife and all the things, right? And when I feel supported, when I feel encouraged, when I feel like I'm in a good mental space, I am more open to connecting with him in all the different ways, right? Sex included.
Hey friends, if you feel like you're a working mom who feels like you're carrying all of it, the job, the kids, the never-ending mental checklist, the marriage, and by the end of the day, you're so tired and touched out that connecting with your spouse, even if it's just sexual connection or any kind of connection, just feels so out of reach that it feels like one more task on the to-do list. And then you feel guilty about that. Then this episode is definitely for you. My guest is Amy Nesbit, and she gets it because she's living it. Amy spent nearly 20 years as a professional in Silicon Valley, including a stretch at Apple. And all this while raising 2 kids and figuring out this balancing act in real time. Now, she pours what she's learning into helping moms through her community, Whole Wellness Mamas, along with summits and channels where she shares everything from Japanese cooking to book recommendations to the mindset shifts that help busy moms feel more whole. Fun little bonus for me, Amy and I both speak Japanese, so we had a good time with that too. She's warm, honest, and refreshingly real about how messy things get. And this conversation is wonderfully practical. In this episode, you're going to learn how to make the invisible load a little more visible so you stop silently carrying it all alone. She'll share how to catch resentment before it stacks up and quietly poisons your marriage, and how to stop being the martyr who does everything and then, surprise, wonders why nobody seems to notice. Amy's got this line that I love: you can't draw water from an empty well, and she gives real, doable ways to refill yourselves without the guilt. She even shares the unexpected little things that she did that pulled her and her husband closer, and the one thing that she says is sexier than anything else in the marriage. And I have a feeling that a lot of husbands are going to want to hear that part as well. And stay to the end because she opens up about how she talks to her own kids about sex, the values-first, age-appropriate way that actually keeps them safe. That part alone is going to be worth a listen. So, if you're a tired, big-hearted, doing-it-all mom who just wants to feel like yourself again and feel truly connected to the person you're married to, this episode is for you. Before we jump in, let me tell you that our men's and women's small group coaching program is opening up its doors in September. This is ideal for anyone that has, you'd say, an otherwise good marriage, like you communicate well, you're friends, but you wish you had more of that spark, especially in the bedroom, where you want to be able to communicate better, emotionally or sexually or spiritually or otherwise. This is a great program because it is a container. It's a safe place because you're there with 6 to 10 other men or women in the group that you're in, and you become fast friends. It's a safe place for you to learn from each other as well as learn from myself and our team of coaches. So you'll find all those details at getyourmarriageon.com. We're also getting ready to announce our in-person retreat for next spring. If you're not on my mailing list, you want to jump on now because that announcement's going to come out real soon. But here's a little hint. You can sneak down to the bottom and you'll find a link to join the waiting list. Those on the waiting list get to know about it first, so that way you can sign up before it fills up from everyone else trying to get into. So those details are going to be there for you. It's an excellent experience for couples that want to reignite passion and intimacy in their relationship. Ready? Let's jump in. Amy, welcome to the Get Your Marriage On podcast. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good. So you're a mom, you have 2 children, and you're a working professional also. So I'm looking forward to this conversation because so many people can relate, I think. Like, I'm a busy mom, and I'm a professional, and I'm married. How do I balance it all? And I'm looking forward to that conversation. But first, I want to know what it's like for you being a mom with kids. And have you ever run into a situation where just by living, you had a maybe potentially exposing or embarrassing moment along the way?
I think we all have, but if I had to pick one, this is a fairly recent thing where I love audiobooks. And as a busy working mom, I listen a lot on my commutes. Like, that's why I love audiobooks, right? While I'm doing chores, while I'm doing whatever, I can listen. And I listen to all genres. But one of the things I started listening to a few years ago, and I've been on like a romantasy kick, but sometimes they get a little spicy. And I remember distinctly we were in the orthodontics office for my kids, and I was listening to my book because I was really into it, and I was like, oh, I want to get it, because
it's a great part of it.
squeeze it in while you can, right? Moms, we have limited time, so get it in while you can. And we get called in, and I thought I took my AirPods out and they would just automatically stop. But what happened was the sound kept coming out of my phone, which was in my backpack, which was not easy to get. And there it was, just blaring out for everyone. And I was a little embarrassed, but at the same time, I went, things happen. And the amount of book people that have also said that happened to them, everybody, right? Yep. So we've all had those moments. Sex exists, guys. And we live with it.
For me, it's when my phone switches to Bluetooth in the car and it like resumes like whatever my podcast or whatever I'm listening to. Kids are like, Dad,
what are you listening to?
That's funny. That's great. So you have a heart for helping mothers really stay grounded, connected to themselves, to their children, to their faith, especially in their marriages. How did you fall into this work?
It was all kind of curiosity-led because I've been a working professional in Silicon Valley, was where I led most of my career for, almost 20 years. And in all that time,
I think.
For Apple, for a long portion of it. Yep. And so many parents or moms specifically that I talked to that I worked with were like, how do we balance it all, especially after COVID, right? Those conversations like, how did we do this before 5 days in the office? But really, my journey started during COVID. We remember the crazy times, right, where we were working from home, the kids were schooling from home, and I just had this crazy idea, okay, what if I just create a YouTube channel just for kicks, even if the grandparents were the only people that watched it, to really focus on our joys instead of the crappy things that were happening, because we focused on, oh my gosh, we can't go see these people, oh, we can't go here. But really, there were still so many blessings in our lives. So we just started this thing. And then it morphed over the course of time to this Japanese American life. And I won't get super into it now, but that is the main YouTube channel. And then I loved books, like I was talking about earlier. So then I started a book thing. And at the heart of it, as I kept doing these things, people kept asking me, how do you have a full-time job, do these other things on the side, be a mom, be a wife, be a friend, all the roles that we have, and still enjoy or have time for all these things? And I realized it actually fills my cup to do these creative things, and to be able to serve others in ways, whether it's my Japanese cooking tips or travel tips or book recommendations or like mindset things that have helped me as a working mom. And so that's where Whole Wellness Mamas started. And I just started talking to more people, having summits, working with moms. And it is just, I know it's still not my full-time job, but it is such a big part of what I want to do for other people in the community. And I've seen so many people benefit from just knowing they're not alone, that it's something that I can't not do anymore.
That is so good. I look forward to your advice today. So as a working mom and a wife, how have you cultivated space for sex and intimacy in your marriage?
Yeah. So I think this is a very interesting topic for me because as I was thinking about, okay, what has been my identity or what has been the messages that I've grown up with, and being in an Asian household, a lot of things, you just kind of don't really talk about sex. That there's just some things that you're like, oh, okay, someday we'll talk about it, or maybe you'll talk about it somewhere else and learn about it, And then also being in like a Christian conservative, like middle school, high school messaging of, okay, that's kind of taboo, like purity, and like we don't talk about these things. I feel like it's been well, maybe if we don't talk about it, they don't know about it, or they won't do things, So that's been kind of the lens that I think I have grown up in. And I have come to change that narrative for myself and my kids, where we should be talking about these things, and there is nothing wrong about talking with it, especially coming to terms with what is factual and what is actually really beneficial to talk about, because sex is a beautiful, wonderful thing in the right context,
Yeah.
And for me to be able to start talking about it with my husband too was, it still is a work in progress, right? All of us are, it's a work in progress of speaking up both for ourselves and understanding what the other person wants. And it's a beautiful journey to be able to have a supportive partner that you can talk about this stuff, and it just gets better when you can actually have that. But I also want to touch on two things. One thing, I'm just going to say there is nothing sexier than a man that can support his wife and encourage her to do the things that help her feel healthy and connect with the things that give them joy outside of motherhood and the role of wife and all the things, right?
Yes,
Um,
absolutely. I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah. And when I feel supported, when I feel encouraged, when I feel like I'm in a good mental space,
hmm
I am more open to connecting with him in all the different ways, right?
Right.
Sex
Right.
included.
Because you
And
can't draw water from an empty well.
no. And when you're touched out, when you're tired, when you're just exhausted from all the things and feeling like you're carrying it all, or you're just not taking care of yourself at the end of the night or wherever, right? You're just done. And you're
hmm
like, I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. I'm just done.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So
So,
related.
yeah. So one thing that unexpectedly was, I think, great for our relationship is I mentioned the spicy books that I started reading, right?
Uh-huh.
But there was one that kickstarted my whole romantasy genre, and I was talking about it, and I asked him, "Hey, you don't want to read this book with me, do you?" Because I love reading books with people and talking books with people, which is why I
Uh-huh.
started my second YouTube channel. But he's more of a
Yeah.
nonfiction guy,
Yeah.
loves memoirs, loves all these things, right?
Right.
So I didn't think he was going to take me up on it, but he did.
Okay.
And he did not love it as much as I did. But the fact that he did and that we got to talk about it, and those spicy ones, like, we kind of talked about those things too. And I think that benefited us
Uh-huh.
too.
Yeah.
So
No, stoke some
you never
flames.
know. Yeah, you never know.
Uh-huh.
But just those connections that he was willing to do it too, and it just brought me
Yeah.
joy. Like, ooh, what is he going to think about it? More like things to talk about and connect with beyond kid or logistical things.
hmm
Because as we become parents, I think it's really easy for our date nights or our one-on-one times to be about, okay, what are the kids doing? What do we need to do this week? Just all the practical things.
hmm
And that's not fun for connecting on a deeper level.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I had a guest on, I think it's episode 292 or 293, where similar thing. Husband's really not into fiction or novels and romance. He
Yeah.
likes action movies and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And so she asked, "Will you read this book with me?" And he said yes. And she was like, pleasantly surprised. And like you said, like she probably enjoyed it more than he did. But just the fact that he would like read with her and like just step into her space and
Yeah.
enjoy what she enjoys just did so much for their relationship too. So that's
Yeah.
good. So creating space together where it's
Yeah.
it is an act of intimacy, right? It's like
Yeah,
I'm letting
absolutely.
you into what's important to me or what turns me on or what I think about. And I
Yeah.
want you to see this part of me.
Yeah. And then that opens up conversation for more things, right? So then I recently read this other book called Super Nintendo. It's like the story of Super Nintendo, which our kids are huge Switch fans. Like my husband loves games, right? And it's a part of our family.
Uh-huh.
And so I read that as an advanced reader copy, but I went, hey, it's coming out soon. I think you might enjoy it. I really liked it. Maybe you want to read it and talk about it. And again, this is back into the nonfiction space, right? And right up his alley, I thought. And he was like, ooh, okay. And I saw it in our Libby the other day. I went, oh, he's listening to it. So just these little things, it's exciting to me. And it makes me very connected to him and excited that he has heard me, right? We all want to be heard and seen. So I think these little things, it might seem like they don't make a difference, but they absolutely do.
That's great. So husbands listening to this, you can make sure you're really invested in your spouse, not to get something out of them. There's no manipulation here. Really
Yeah.
invest. And then for wives to really make sure you have something to draw from. You can't draw water from an empty well. So fill your bucket here. So Are there any things to avoid or things to think about that are, I guess, are common for a lot of busy working moms that kind of sabotage their relationships?
I think trying to do everything on your own
Mm-hmm.
and not speaking up, right? When you
Right.
need help or just feeling like you're the default parent, but you just do it anyway. My job has been a little more flexible. Like we both have full-time jobs, but I always felt like my job's a little more flexible. He's in meeting back to back to back all the time. Like during COVID, I didn't even see him because he was working all the time, And so that has changed, thankfully.
Uh-huh.
But, I think I also saw it and just kind of defaulted myself to it. And that might also be the Asian growing up that I've seen also playing into it.
Yeah.
But a lot of things, I just did it. I recognized things and I knew how to do things, so I just did it. But recently, something that really helped me was I asked him, hey, can you start carrying more of the taking the kids to Japanese school burden?
Uh-huh.
Because I took it more on myself because it was my thing. It was the thing that I couldn't let go. I wanted my kids to learn Japanese. And, it wasn't fair to have him do that because it
Mm-hmm.
is kind of a good amount of a drive for
Mm-hmm.
him to do that if it's my thing, But I
Yeah.
had to let that go and say, hey, would you be willing to do this? And he was like, absolutely. Like, just like, how do we want to do it? So I can take them more. Like, I can go to the library while they're there. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And I'm going to myself, I should have asked out earlier. Like, why
Uh-huh.
was I putting this on myself?
Uh-huh.
And I think I do that not just with Japanese school, but with different things that are more of my strong suit.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad because cooking is not his thing.
Uh-huh.
He genuinely hates it, but he works from home most of the time. And so he has absolutely stepped up in that. And not that he enjoys it, but he knows that that is something that is huge to take off of my plate because once I get home from work, the office, it's just hard, right? We all know that meals are one of the hardest things people juggle, but we need to talk about it. Don't say, oh, I can do it. It's okay. But then you become resentful as a mom that you become that default person. You're doing everything. It goes on and on, right? There's so much of an invisible load that often are on women. And if we can make that more visible, don't be a martyr. Don't be the one that carries everything because you don't have to. And if you have a partner that is supportive and that wants to be in the relationship that you want,
Uh-huh.
they're going to help you. They're going to want to carry this. And even if they can't see the things, notice the things right away that we do,
Uh-huh.
if we can make that more visible, right, then that becomes less of a burden that we need to carry. And this is a partnership. We don't need to do it ourselves. And I don't know how many moms, myself included, need to hear that, right? Like, it is not all on us. We don't have to do it all. We can't do it all. Ask for help. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing when it comes.
Is there something you've learned in life where you catch yourself starting to become a martyr? Like, what are your telltale signs?
Oh, well, I know that I can do a lot of things faster because I have been martyring myself for longer, right?
Okay.
So,
Like, you can cook better, you can take care of the kids better. You're more efficient at many tasks, is
yeah,
what you're saying.
but I will start like cleaning up the table after dinner, right? I want the tables wiped down. Not everybody seems to care as much that the table is clean.
Yeah, your
So
higher
I was
desire for a cleaner table than others.
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh.
And, I have talked about this before and went, hey guys, this is our routine. Like we clear the dishes and then like someone wipes the table, right? We rotate, whatever it is, but people don't seem to remember. And so oftentimes I'll just be like, oh, it's easier. I'm just going to do it. So I'll
Mhm.
start getting the cloth ready, and I'm like, no, Amy, no. Just they're sitting on that couch right there. Just say a word. And no one wants to be a nagger,
Yes.
right? So I think there's always the, oh, do I say it or do I just do it? Because it takes 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Time-wise, it really doesn't take much.
Mhm.
But it's the fact that it's over and over and I'm feeling resentful that people don't notice, or it's just an additional thing that I have to do, and all the things that go through our minds, right? So if I can
Yeah.
just say, hey, can someone clean the table. And I just kind of like toss the rag or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
They're willing, they're coming and they're saying, oh, I forgot, or my husband will say, oh, I was going to take care of it after the kitchen was empty. So I think I also have to recognize we have different timings.
Mm-hmm.
So he was planning to come back and, clear the sink. I don't like things in the sink, but when he's cooking, I have to let it go. So I do have to recognize, hey, everybody has different timings. Just because I would do it at a certain time, let it go. Let people do it their way. So I will step out of the kitchen and just let it go. Don't be a martyr. Don't do it all. Let people step up.
Good. All right. Good. Tell me about, I'm picked up on something you said about resentments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's common, especially in long-term relationships. Resentments can start to stack up.
Yeah.
And in your own marriage, how have you learned to recognize when resentments are starting to stack up? And what approaches have you taken to minimize resentments?
Yeah. I think I've talked about some of these sort of, or like touched on them, but
Uh-huh.
I think when I start to take on a task and I can feel it in myself, like, oh, again, it's me. Like no one notices. Or like, why doesn't he notice that there's a big giant pile of mail or, whatever it might be.
Uh-huh.
I recognize that kind of anxiety or that, oh, it's me again, kind of a feeling.
Uh-huh.
And
it's on me again. It's all right.
Yeah.
I carry this burden again. Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like there's certain things that you see and you go, oh, I don't want to say something again because I know I've talked about it.
Right.
But, I also need to because I need to make things more visible, or I need to understand also what his perspective is. It like in the sense of the pots and the dishes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had to ask him about it for him to tell me, oh no, like I know you like to clean as you go so that you don't have this pile of dishes at the end, but I just am not good in the kitchen. I cannot deal with those things at the same time. So I will come back and clean them. Just look away because I know you don't like seeing, but I will take care of it, So he kind of had to walk me through what his process is for me to understand, okay, he does have a plan. And I think for me as a planner, I just want to know that you have a plan, and I can let it go. It's not going to be something I have to come back and do later because it's not done, So I think talking about things is so huge. Like if something is bothering you or if something is like, I've had to talk to you about this a lot. Like, I don't want to keep asking you about it. Can you tell me what your plan is? And I think the approach to obviously talking about it is going to be important, right? Because if you come at it at, you never do this or that, no one wants to hear that. No one is open to talking about it. Your defensiveness goes up. So there's absolutely an approach. And if you feel like you can't talk about it in that moment without blowing up, just take a step. It's okay to, just take a breather, walk away from the mess, walk away from the whatever, and then just talk about it later when you're both level-headed. I think that's for anything, really.
Oh, yeah. I agree. On this podcast, I say this phrase often. It's calm the heck down.
Yeah.
And that's really about calming that internal process so you can be clear-headed about things.
Yeah.
I like that. Don't let it brew, I guess, is what I'm getting from this conversation.
Yeah.
Like, address it. You got a problem? Let's address it. Don't let it sit and simmer in.
And if you talk about it, don't bring it up again, like, I don't know, 10 years down the road or something, where it's like, remember when you did that thing and you're, just talk about things along the way. And then we have to figure out how to let it go. Letting things go is really hard. Elsa talks about it and makes it seem easy. It's not, it's not. But we do have to develop that muscle of talk about it, make sure we all understand each other, and then let it go. Let it go.
That's good. All right. As we conclude this episode, let's think. So how have you as a mom talked about sex with your kids? Because I think that's another dimension of motherhood and intimacy that we need to talk about more often.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I was kind of hesitant. I was like, oh, my kids are young. I don't really need to talk about this. But I've listened to enough talks. I've talked to enough moms where I'm now on the side of, I want to be the one that talks to my kids factually, like, this is what happens. It can be a beautiful thing, but these are the values that I have for it. And for me, it is within marriage, and that is not the case for everyone. And that's totally fine. Everybody has different values, and you talk to your kids about what your values are tied to sex. And obviously there are areas of applicability for your child's age, right? So you're not going to talk about the whole dang thing for like a 3-year-old,
Yeah.
But you can talk about body parts. You can talk about all the different things because it actually keeps your kids safe too, when they know like these are things that are okay. These are things that are not okay for people to touch you in different places or, whatever it might be. Or if people ask you to see like body parts, that's not okay, Doctors are okay in certain contexts. Like all these things that we can talk about with our kids and get themselves more familiar with their own bodies, terminology. And then we might think kids don't know about sex, but there is a high likelihood with all the things that are out there for them to see, to hear. Other kids with older kids or siblings, right? The likelihood is that they know more than you think. And I want them to get information from me or from books that I feel comfortable reading with them or having them, get information from versus the kid that who knows what these kids think sex is or like different acts of sex.
Yes.
And I want them to have information. And I think I heard someone say, I want them to be the kid that knows more going into sex ed than hearing it for the first time or like kids telling them what sex is,
Right.
Can you imagine that telephone that happens with kids? So I'm all for talking about our kids.
A lot of us can look back and almost humorously talk about our honeymoons, like, or whatever, right? Like the things we didn't know. And, but a lot of those awkwardness and difficulty could have been avoided. And a lot of pain can be avoided with better sex education. And I do think, I agree with you. It's on parents. You don't leave it up for schools or churches or the internet or other places. It is our responsibility to, and I like how you said we attach our values to it. I think that's really important. Then we can transmit our values with it as we teach about the goodness of it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I have boys too, so I don't know if it's right to think, I really need them to be responsible. I've told them like, I don't want to see you anywhere for like violating or like pushing people to do things that they don't want to, right? I mean, that goes with anyone, but
yes,
I think, I don't know if you agree, but I feel like there is a responsibility for a boy mom to just raise them in a culture of masculinity that is respectful and kind. And I'm just going to leave it at
that. Good. Great.
Yeah.
Anything else, Amy, for a busy working mom on how to balance motherhood, marriage, faith, selfhood?
I said this at the beginning, but there is nothing sexier than a man that supports their wife. And I absolutely think moms need to be able to do the things that they find joy in. Mm-hmm. And my husband has often been the one where when I feel guilty going rock climbing. So I used to go rock climbing with my girlfriends, and that was my girl time. But it would be like 2 hours away from the home or something, all in all, right? Yep. And my kids would be like, oh, Mom, you're going. And this would be on the weekend. And so I'm going, this is my like family time, but I really value my girls and this exercise time. And my husband would be the one that said, go, like, take the time. Like, it's fine. We have the rest of the weekend. Just go. And I think I really appreciate him being like the supporter and encourager of like, stop making excuses. Just go. I got this. Don't feel guilty about it. They'll be fine. Because I think women, working moms especially, and I'm speaking for myself and a lot of the moms that I've talked to, often feel really guilty about taking time for ourselves, especially outside of work and home, you know? So moms, you come back so much better for yourself, for your family, for your husband, for your employer, for whomever you are around, when you are happier, when you are able to take this time for yourself. And it could be a 15-minute thing. It can be a 2-hour thing. It could be a girls' weekend. Just do it. Stop feeling guilty. Just do it.
Love it. That's great. Where can people go to learn more about you and your work?
I think the easiest place is wholewellnessmamas.com. That has all the links to the different places. But if you're looking for, specifically Japanese food, travel tips, This Japanese American Life is where you can find me on the YouTube channels. But Whole Wellness Mamas, Instagram, TikTok, those are the places I am. But again, if you go to the website, you'll get me in all the different places.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, my friend, thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you've enjoyed these stories and the experience that Amy has shared to help you in your relationship. If you'd like any help applying any of these things, check out our program, the Next Level program. It's ideal for couples that want to rebuild their intimacy or want to have a sex life that they're proud of. And this is a great legacy, not only just for you to have today in your relationship, but it's a legacy to leave for your children also. And please share this podcast with all your married friends. Download our apps. They're free and awesome. And go get your marriage on.